mystery theory. In today's episode, we're going to talk about Danielle Locklear. This is a case that is somewhat recent compared to some of the videos or cases that I've shared recently. And it's a pretty, I don't know if unique situation, but it's one of those that will throw you out of balance, and you're like, no, this can't be right. And then at the end, when you find out what really happened, it's just mind-boggling, and it will have you wonder about the people that you know or you think you know. As always, this is an ASMR channel. It says on the title, True Crime ASMR. If you do not like ASMR, or if you don't like the combination of true crime cases with ASMR, you can exit this video now. There's a lot of documentaries and there's a lot of information on this case out there that you can get it from, and you can learn more about it if you're interested. Now, Danielle Locklear was a very sweet girl when she was growing up. According to her family, she was always smiling. She was a funny girl, and she always had a smile on her face. Once you talk to her friends growing up, she was also described not only as that, but also as a noticeable girl, the one that you could see in a big crowd. She somewhat stood out. However, her parents were having problems in their marriage, and when she started her freshman year of high school, she moved in with her mom's sister, Gina, and her maternal grandparents. Her mom had a lot to deal with, and she thought that it would be better for Danielle to be in a more stable household while she was dealing with the divorce and starting her new life, finding a new place, that kind of thing it's a big change, and your daughter is going through one of her big changes by starting her freshman year of high school, and that is hard in itself, but I think the divorce was just something that her mom didn't want her to go through. So she went with her aunt, Gina, and however, Gina and her parents and Danielle grandparents were excited to have her over. It wasn't like a struggle, or it wasn't something that they didn't want to do. They loved Danielle. They loved how smart she was, how sweet she was, kind of girl she was. So they were happy. They were happy that she was moving in with them for a while. Now, when Danielle moved in, she started high school, and of course she was the new girl in high school. And even though it's your freshman year and you probably don't know many people in the high school, you still have a few people that you probably went to school with, or that you kind of know, but for Danielle, everything was new. However, her friends in high school, after she was there for a while, they mentioned that as soon as she got to the school, she was the new girl for about 10 minutes. I mean, she was very beautiful, and some of the girls mentioned that was kind of, that made them a little bit apprehensive approaching her, but as soon as they started talking to her, she became friends with them, and they started talking, and they became friends since then. Now, they also said that Danielle was the kind of girl that she would fit in any kind of crowd, per se. I don't know, how there's different crowds in the high school, so it was one of those things that she was very noticeable for. She could sit down with a group of people for lunch, and she would fit right in, and then she would go to a class with other group of people that is completely different from the Kelly said she was a straight A student, and she was very on top of everything in her schoolwork, but also she loved social media, so she would be posting non-stop every single day. Now, in the summer of 2013, she started dating Joe Michael Malloy. Now, Danielle and Joe Michael families were friends to begin with, and they loved the idea on both sides of them being dating. He was a varsity soccer player in another school, not the same one that Danielle went to. He never had trouble with the police, and overall was a very good kid that attended even the same church that Danielle attended in her family. He was her first serious boyfriend, and he was older too. Remember that Danielle was a freshman and he was a senior in the other school where he went to. According to the family, they just got along fine. They were happy, they were active, they were smiling, the perfect couple. And by the spring of 2014, Danielle, by this time, she was already living with her grandparents and aunt for about a year. So, everything was going just fine. She was going to school, she had a boyfriend, a good boyfriend, the kind of boyfriend that you want your daughter or any family member that you appreciate. He was that kind of guy. And on March 11th, 2014, Gina and her mom, Kelly, had an appointment in Atlanta, Georgia. This wasn't something that they did a lot. According to my research, it was some kind of doctor's appointment or something that was planned, and they had to be there. So they planned to go and spend the night there. So they asked Danielle's grandpa to keep an eye on Danny. Remember, he lives there with Danny as well. So on March 11th, on a Tuesday, that same day, but at night, Danielle had dinner with her grandpa, and this was a school night, so it's pretty chill, low-key. They had not much going on, but she was supposed to go to bed right after she had dinner and just get ready for the next day at school. But Danielle approached her grandpa and asked him if she could go drop off a notebook at a neighbor's and friend's house. I'm saying the neighbors because it was in the surrounding area, but not really, the next door neighbor. He said yes, and she left to go drop off that notebook. Now the next morning, Gina and her mom got a call from the grandpa saying that Danielle never made it home the night before. I don't know why he waited until the next morning to call them. I know that Danielle left the house at around 10 p.m. So I'm assuming maybe he did fall asleep while was waiting for her and woke up the next morning scared that she didn't come back. Or maybe that he trusted her to come home and maybe he went to bed and expected her to come home, lock up, and go to bed. I am not sure about what he thought at the time, but he called them the next morning. Now, of course, they called Danielle's mom, Rana, to let her know and ask, obviously, if she heard about Danielle, if she knew anything about it. She didn't, so Rana jumps on her car, and at the same time, of course, Gina and Kelly, the grandma, were driving towards their home to go look for Danielle. Gina and Kelly, they were closer, so they got to the home first, and at the time, the police was already there. I mean, Kelly told her husband to call the police right away while they were on the way to the house, so that way they can start looking for Danielle. Now, when they got to the house again, the police police was at their home, and the police at the time were hoping that maybe she spent the night with that friend or with a friend. Once they started to dig around, they started to think that maybe she ran away, but she was going to come back. I mean, the pretty standard things that seems to go around in this kind of case. Now, Gina immediately called Joe Michael and asked him, and he said that he hasn't seen her for a couple of days and that they were actually broken up. Now, Gina at the time, she didn't think anything of it because they were in that kind of relationship lately, that they would break up and then get back together, break up, get back together, kind of a normal teenager relationship, not abusive, not, but maybe, they had a few things that they didn't agree on and they would break up and then come back and be together. She also called the school, Gina, and they told her that the day she disappeared, she also skipped school, so that Tuesday before going to dinner with her grandpa and everything, she skipped school that day. And that was something that was out of the ordinary and something that started to worry Gina, because she wasn't a straight A student because she skipped school. She apparently never done this before, or maybe, you can count the occasions that she did it. So everything was kind of looking different. So that is when Gina remembers that Tuesday she was pulling in her driveway and she saw Danielle get home. She was running with no shoes and she was giggling, and she asked her, where are you coming from? And she said, oh, we were at the creek at it's like a neighborhood hangout place for high school. And Gina told her, well, you're not going back there. And she said, no, I know I won't. So maybe Gina did know that something was up that day, and when she called the school and they told her that she didn't go to school that day, everything started to make sense. Apparently she skipped school and she went to this creek area. Gina didn't know about this creek, even though it was in their neighborhood. They had no idea where this was. So she decided to ask around the neighborhood, and she found a kid that was driving a bike, and she asked him, do you know where this creek is? And he said that he would take her. Now, Gina described this as a very kind of a wooded area, and it had a trail, an official trail to the creek. But as she was entering the area closer to the creek, she found something in the sand that spelled help. When she got by the water, which was very alarming, by the way, but when she got by the water, she got even more nervous because she saw a lot of garbage, she saw a lot of school papers, kids' clothes, and she realized that something was really wrong, and, if Danielle was there, anything could have happened. When she was walking back to the trail, she also found a towel and a sock. She knew that both of those things belonged to Danielle. And the sock that was there was a fuzzy sock that she got for Danielle to go to bed. That is the only time that she would use them, just to go to bed. And it was kind of weird that those socks were there, and it was kind of indicating that the night before, when she left to drop off that notebook, maybe she decided to go to the creek too. That would be the only way that you can tell that, she was probably wearing those socks that night. Now, Gina decided to stop by Danielle's friend's house. Remember, the one that she was going to drop off the notebook. And she asked about Danny. She said the girl said that she never stopped by, that Danny never stopped by, but they've been texting that night, and that Danny sent her a she was at the creek. Her Aunt Gina looks at the pictures, and apparently in every single picture she's alone, but in one of the pictures, Danny was wearing glasses that were not hers, but you could see the reflection of 4 other people that were behind the camera. She asked the friends who these kids were, and after pushing it and kind of squeezing it out of her, she got the names, and one of them was Caroline. Caroline was one of Danielle's friends, and she was one of the people that got interviewed in one of the shows, and she was telling how, they became friends at school and how they kind of belonged to the same group and always hang out together and that kind of stuff. But Caroline was kind of different from Danny because she was a regular at the creek. So that meant that she would skip class very often and hang out there. Remember that Danny wasn't into that, but one day I think she had to present some kind of a project in one of her classes, and Danny asked Caroline to take her wherever she was going to skip that class. And that was only a few days before Danny went missing. She was introduced to this area. She liked it. So they decided to go the next day. And they skipped. Well, Danielle decided to skip all day from school and go to the creek. And she even called Caroline, who was at the school, and asked her to hurry up and go hang out with them because they were having so much fun. They were swimming, they were playing in the water, they were laughing, they were doing, teenager things, and she didn't want Caroline to miss out on it, so she was kind of pushing Caroline to go to the creek area. And at this point, with all this information that we now know, the kids at school had a lot of theories, and because of the pictures with Danny and these 4 other people that were there, and that they saw in the reflection of the glasses, and they knew that the kids at school knew that they were there, they started to get theories, and one of them involved a boy that they saw hanging out with Danny, and his name is Angel. You just have to remember, I don't know how your high school experience was, but you just have to remember that high school is like a beehive of hearsay. Kids get a fact, and then they tell it so many times that at the end, it has nothing to do with what the first person said at the beginning. So there were a lot of different theories, but one of them involved this kid, Angel. And they were saying that they saw them cuddling and that they were getting closer, maybe that they started to date or something now since Danny was broken up with her boyfriend. So the police they had to go with what the kids were saying, so they visited Angel and they asked him about Danny and the creek. And he said that he didn't know Danny and that he wasn't at the creek that day, even though the police had witness that said otherwise. And of course they had the reflection of him in the picture, and I think his first reaction was just try to cover himself or make sure that he didn't get in trouble. So a week later, they still had no news and no social media post, and that was very concerning. So they went back to Angel, and the police, since they knew that he was lying, they pressured him, and he finally confessed that he was actually at the creek and he did know Danielle. But he also said that he was dating somebody else. And even according to Danny's friend, Caroline, Angel wasn't really cuddling with Danielle that day. Those were only rumors. And he knew about her. I mean, they would hang out, but they weren't close friends. He also said that she left around 3:30 p.m. that day, and he had a solid alibi because he told the police he went to practice, which is something that they could confirm, and that he spent the day with his family. He went out to dinner and watched a movie, so he was accounted for after 3:30 p.m. when Danielle left the creek and went home. They had nothing, so they had to investigate the grandpa at this point, and one of the officers even said that he had a bad feeling while he was interviewing the grandpa. And I saw the interview with this officer, and he said that that was one of the only times that he had to excuse himself and go and call his supervisor or, whoever was in charge, because he had a bad feeling from the grandpa. Now, the grandpa said that he was playing video games when Danny asked him to go to the friend's house to drop off the notebook. He didn't realize it was 10 p.m. already, which a lot of people were criticizing. How can a grandpa let a kid go outside at 10 p.m. at night? How didn't he call the police right away? I mean, you have to understand that this was a big thing. And for the police, it did look a little bit suspicious. And the police also asked him why he waited. And he told the police that he thought he had to wait 24 hours. But when he called his wife, she told him to call right away, and that's what he did. Police investigated him a little bit more in the relationship that he had with Danielle, and he even took the polygraph and passed, so he was in the clear. They moved to the ex-boyfriend, Joe Michael, and he said that Danny told him that she wanted to move back to South Carolina because she felt like she was a burden to her grandma. He also said that he loved her, and even though they were broken up, he was still in love with her. He also said that maybe Danny wasn't the kind of girl that her family claimed to be. That she skipped a lot of the fourth period because she was being picked on for her clothes. That she didn't have the best of clothes. And that she was being picked on. And that he thought that maybe she did run away because she was depressed. He even told the police that he called her aunt Gina to tell her about how sad Danny was, and to let her know that Danny told him that she tried to kill herself twice. Again, this is something that Gina confirmed, but Gina didn't believe at the time. Danny was happy. Danny was the same kind of girl. She appreciated the information, but it wasn't something that made sense in Gina's mind. Now, Joe Michael also said that the night that Danny disappeared, he was at home, which is 30 minutes away from Danny. And he was home with his grandma, his friend Dominic, and his mom. I think were about 3 or 4 people in the house. Apparently he was studying for the SATs, and when they checked the phone, it showed that he was home, or at least the phone was. So that's the kind of thing that they do nowadays. People are kind of glued to their phones, so his alibi checked out. Everyone said that he was home, he was studying, and he was with his friend. So of course, that for the police, that didn't take them anywhere, because he looked very concerned, he looked sad, and he wanted to help as much as he could. At the same time, the rumors started at the school again, but this time included a different guy, and his name is Derek. So the police, again, going with the rumors in the high school because they had nothing to go with. They call him to the station. Now this guy Derek, he claimed that he knew her from school, but he wasn't interested interested in her romantically. According to him, she looked like a goody-goody, and he was afraid that she would rat him out. He even, I watched this interview, he even confessed to the police about doing illegal things. Again, he kept repeating himself that he just knew of her but didn't know her and wasn't really interested. There were other kids that were saying that he was calling her a sister and that, he would help a sister and that kind of thing, but there was also another people there at high school that said that that's how he referred to people, not because they were close, because that's the kind of guy he was. Now, Derek was in and out of school. He was the kind of kid that the kids called misunderstood. He also claimed that he was the founder, quote-unquote founder of the creek, because he was the one who found it first, and that he skipped school so much that he needed to find a place to go hang out and stay away from his house, and that's how he ended up finding, quote-unquote finding the creek. He also said that he spent that night at home and his dad was there, but around 8:30 p.m. he left for I think it was a pool tournament or something like that. So he stayed home behind, and according to what he said, he was looking for a job, and he was also checking on Facebook, but he decided to erase the history, because he got hacked once and he didn't want to get hacked again on his Facebook page. So yeah, he said that he was home. There's somebody who said that he was home until 8:30, but he has no solid alibi. Now, at the same time, the police continued to investigate and try to find any leads and things, and at this point what they found was the phone. It was Danny's phone, and it was by I-95, which is pretty far away from her home to go walking. So they assumed that she got in a car, and that's why she made it to that area so fast, because if you put together the timeline at the time that she left the home and when she dropped the phone there and the last pin to that area, it just wouldn't make sense that she walked all the way there. Now, that area was also close to Derek's house, so they tell him, we found the phone by your house, and I saw the interview. He seemed like he was being honest. He claimed that she didn't know where he lived, and that he didn't see her that night, even if she was around his house. The police keep saying that maybe Danielle went with a friend to his house, but it wasn't something that this guy was very calm, and he was like, no, it's impossible, I didn't see her. If she was there, maybe she was doing something else. Police decided to get a search warrant for his house, and they found the knife in the tree. They also found a burn pit and a couple of shovels with something that looked like blood. They tested everything, and they realized that it wasn't blood, and it wasn't something. They couldn't find anything that would put Danielle in the area. Derek, of course, wasn't on the clear right now, and they had nothing on him. But the investigation continued, and it was very thorough and included different agencies. There was, at one point, there were 4 different agencies working on her disappearance, and they were determined to find her. They got volunteers, hundreds and hundreds of volunteers, and they got a lot of media attention. They were looking for her, and they needed to find her. Now, one day, a veteran homicide detective who happened to help in the investigation, Danielle's investigation, he was driving a back road close to a river. He would go fishing very often. Now, this guy is a fishing fanatic. He has all kinds of gear, so much as fishing glasses. Well, maybe you're a fisher and you're like, come on, you didn't know that. Well, I did it. Apparently, these fishing glasses would help somebody see more into the water, get deeper into the water, and see if there's fish. But that day he had those with him, and he was driving by this river area. But once he got to the bridge, he saw something that looked like hair in the water. Now remember, this is a homicide detective, okay? So maybe if I drove by that bridge at 35 miles an hour, maybe I wouldn't have noticed, but he noticed. He knew what hair looks like in the water. So he called it in and he said, if they can send a deputy with binoculars so he could check it out. He wasn't sure that was a body, but he wanted to make sure that it wasn't one. This detective said that in the area where he saw that, or where he thought he saw the hair, it was an area where there was a lot of debris, but he knew exactly what was in that debris area. And that what it seemed like hair wasn't really there before. And when the deputy got there, he checked it out and he realized that it was in fact human hair. Later on, they confirmed that it was Danielle's body. Apparently the body was underwater for over a month. And whoever did this tied the body to cinder blocks with a particularly different kind of rope. Which, by the way, whoever did this was either into interesting ropes or just wasn't in luck, and he happened to have one that it was very distinctive, because this one was yellow and had pebbles and rocks in it, like very old style vintage kind of rope. So the medical examiner concluded that she died of asphyxiation, and that inside her mouth she also had one of her socks that would match the one that her aunt Gina found at the creek. Everything pointed to the creek at this point. It seemed like everything started there. Maybe she was even killed there, but the body was disposed in the river area. When the police looked around, they found Joe Michael's house really close by. Remember that Joe Michael was Danielle's boyfriend or ex-boyfriend at the time. Now, they go back and they investigate him, of course, and when they started to dig a little bit deeper, they already knew about a lot of angry messages that he had with Danielle, and but they were trying to push him, so they were using those messages to push him to confess of doing this, because it was close by his house. It would make sense. And according to the police, the messages were very, it made it seem like Danielle was pushing to talk to him, or was pushing him so much that he decided to block her phone number so he wouldn't receive any messages or any calls from it. Because of that, Danielle decided to borrow a phone to keep texting him. To what Joe Michael replied, "Come to my house the way I'm feeling right now and I will shoot you." Now, they were using all this information to push him, but he said he didn't mean it. He just wanted to get rid of her because she was pushing him. And she wouldn't stop calling or texting him. Now the police needed, in order to put Joe Michael in the area and kind of accuse him of anything, they had to tear apart his alibi, and so decided to go back to his family and ask him, did you see him in the house, or you saw him get in his room and assume that he was there all night long. And that's when the family started to say, well, yes, I assumed that he was in his room because he got in his room and he said he was studying. So they do a polygraph on Joe Michael and he fails. Now his alibi is not as strong as it was at the beginning. The polygraph was a fail. So now everything is looking a little bit more incriminating towards Joe Michael. So while they were interviewing him, the police showed up at his house. So they were interviewing him at the police station, and there was another crew that showed up at his house to search it with a warrant, of course, and they found cinder blocks on the side of the house, and they were missing some in exactly the same amount that were marked on the floor, and they were missing. That is the exact amount that Danny had attached to her body. They also found a very particular rope that was attached to Danny's body, the same kind. So of course they start to tell all these things to him, and he was ready to confess. I think it happened in 2 different occasions. I mean, he had a couple of interviews after they found Danielle's body, but in the second one, after seeing how everything was pointing him, his way, he went to the police station and he said that he wanted to confess. I even saw one of the clips where he was praying and asking for forgiveness from God because of what he did. Then he kind of pulled himself together when the police got in the room. And that's when when he told the police that that night he said that, Dominic and him snuck out of the house and headed to Danielle's house, that he wanted to talk to her. And she, apparently somehow they agreed to talk to each other, and that's why she asked to go out and drop off the notebook that she never dropped off. And when they met, she got in the car and they went to the creek. They talked, and then they started to argue about an alleged pregnancy. According to Joe Michael, she was supposed to do a pregnancy test in front of him to prove that it was in fact true that she was pregnant. According to him, all the fights and everything was because she was telling him that she was pregnant and that they needed to get back together. But before she actually did the pregnancy test, it was very clear, according to him, that he was going to provide for the kid if she was in fact pregnant. But he didn't want anything to do with her. He wanted to be a Marine. He wanted to go to college. I mean, he had plans for his life, and there was no room for a baby. So he pretty much told her, even before she did the pregnancy test, that he would provide money-wise, but he just didn't want to stay with her. And apparently that's what she wanted. That is when she snapped and punched him in the face, and according to him, got on top of him, and he tried to push her off, but started to choke her. He also said that he didn't know what he was doing, that he almost blacked out at that moment, and when he realized that she was dead, she called Dominic, who was in the car, and both of them, they dragged the body into the back seat of the car. That is when the police put together the theory that that's why they found the other sock. One of them was, she had both socks and she lost one of them there. I don't know, I don't understand this part, but just want to throw it out there. Apparently, they said that the other sock, that's why she didn't lose it, it was because Dominic decided to put it inside her mouth because she was making a noise. So was she really dead at the time that they were dragging her to the car? Was she unconscious, but maybe alive? And they suffocate her with the sock. I don't know, but as they were driving, they threw the phone out of the window by I-95. And remember, that was the last place where they pinned her phone to, or the tower. Then they found the block and cinder block, tied it, and threw her in the river. Immediately, he got arrested and charged with second-degree murder. And Dominic was arrested a few days later. The motive. Apparently, it was an unwanted pregnancy. That, he thought that she was pregnant. And he thought that he was going to mess up his career. And it was also kind of labeled as a crime of passion. That's why it was a second-degree murder. The police were okay with going with the theory that she said she was pregnant and she was manipulating the guy and that he blacked out and all that thing. So, to make things worse, if you were wondering, she wasn't pregnant at all. I mean, that's the kind of thing that bothers me about being a teenager. I'm not saying about teenagers because I was one myself, and I wasn't a really nice one either, so it kills me to think that maybe if this was true, a lie that she said to even get back at the guy, because hey, we all been there. Maybe you said something to hurt somebody or to scare somebody, and that kind of lie escalates to this kind of nonsense to me in my head. It just doesn't really make sense. But again, this was treated as a crime of passion, but they continued to investigate because Danielle's family wasn't really buying the idea that was something that just happened. They knew that he planned the whole thing. They knew in their heads that he planned the whole thing. But what it was hard to kind of tear apart, it was the thing that he texted somebody at the time that this was going on, so they didn't know how that could be. But they got an expert in this thing, whatever kind of expert, I don't know the name, but he's a tech guy that he told the police that apparently John Michael downloaded an app that let him schedule the text, and that is why he left his phone at home, so it wouldn't be traced to him to the creek or to Danielle's house. And he was also texting a lot of girls at the same time, so it wouldn't look like, he wasn't home. It made it seem like he was home texting girls. At this point, the police realized that they were dealing with a sociopath, at least for the police. However, they just didn't want to go for first-degree murder because they thought that the lawyer, which I'm assuming it was a very good one, could have made a compelling-looking case and get away with manslaughter, which would mean a lot less jail time, if any. So they went for second-degree murder, and they stuck with that, even though they knew that he planned the whole thing. He got 25 to 30 years, and Dominic got charged for accessory for murder, and he got between 6 to 8 years. John Michael, the time that he got his sentencing, he apologized in court to his family, Danielle's family. And it was kind of hard to see how Danielle's family just were in disbelief at this point. They said that they didn't buy the apology, that they truly believe, like the police, that he's a psychopath, and that they were sad to know that he's going to get out at some point in his life, being that young, and he's going to be able to have some kind of life when Danielle was, killed such a young age. Her mom calls her the girl that will ever be, forever will be 15. When graduation came around, her mom, Rana, was there with Danielle's picture, and she got the hat and tassel, and it was very emotional. Her aunt, Danielle's aunt Gina, said also that Rana could never recover for this, that she changed. She became a different person, and that this was hard for her and her parents because, she's her aunt. She was the one watching over her and the grandparents as well. But this was Rana's only child. She was trying to do the best that she could while she was going through a hard time. And this happened. So I guess this is one of those stories that you're trying to get something good out of it, and it's hard. But if there's anything that I can take out of this story and learn from, is that sometimes we trust people for the way they look, for the plans that they have for the future. I mean, Gina, the aunt, she was telling how happy she was that she was dating Joe Michael because he had a plan for his life. He wanted to be a Marine. He was a soccer star in his high school. He was an active kid. He was a going to church kind of kid. And so if there's anything that I can take out of this, is that, appearances are not everything. They're not. You can look very nice on the outside. You can pull yourself together and look like $1,000,000. But that doesn't mean that's the kind of person you are. And there is nothing that, Gina could have done or her parents could have done to prevent this from happening. Maybe if the grandpa said, stay home, and if she was in fact having all this argument about being pregnant or maybe getting back at the guy, I'm sure that she would have waited out and just snuck out of the house. I don't think people were being fair to the grandpa either. I think he tried his best, and he thought it was something. He believed her. I'm gonna go drop off this notebook and I'll be back, or I'll hang out for a bit and I'll come back. He didn't check the time. You know what I mean? He was home alone, and maybe he didn't play video games at night when the girls were at home. I don't know, but it's very easy for people to jump in and kind of blame it on the person that said yes. Even though we all been teenagers, and if you've been like the 90% of teenagers, there's a 10% that's a pretty good teenager. I haven't met one of those yet, but I'm just telling you there is out there. And then you know that you would have found a way to get away with what you wanted to do that night. So maybe try to look deeper, and I'm gonna try to, I have a video prepared for the series Brainwashed that I have on my channel. If you want to check it out, I'll have a card that it's going to pop the screen now. But I talked about, in that series, I talk about a lot more that has to do with society and what society tells us is the right thing, and appearances, and how you should look like in order to be accepted, and all that kind of stuff. I have one video already, and I'll, again, check it out if you're interested, but I'm preparing this other video that I'm hoping to have up by Friday, maybe as an extra video, and have another one on Friday. I'm not sure yet, but I have an idea. I have a theory in my head that I want to share with you on that video, and it has to do a lot with appearances and how easy it would be if we use this strategy, or if we, if we use this theory to get to know people. It's a pretty interesting theory. I don't know where I mean, there's nowhere that I got it from. One day I started thinking, how can you get to know somebody without really looking at the outside, without looking at what they're doing with their life, they're going to college, if they're a college dropout, if they are working, or if they are a homeless guy, or or girl, or whatever. How can you judge people without judging the outside or what they do with their lives? So I'm going to share that theory with you this Friday, and I hope that you join me for it. But it kind of this kind of case makes my theory to make more sense in my head, because when I saw the guy in the interviews, that was the last guy that I would believe did it. He was that kind of respectful kid, ma'am, sir, well spoken. You would hear everything, listen to what you're asking, and then you would make the correct pauses and talk in a way that, speak. And so I guess I will try to put my theory on the work on this one, because as you can see, the outside is not really what's in the inside. And I'm sad that this happened to Danielle and your family, that changed their lives forever. Thank you so much for listening to this case. If you have anything that you would like to add, feel free to add them in the comments down below. If you feel like I left anything out and you know about this case, please feel free to do that. And I will see you back on Friday. If you're interested for a new podcast with a different true crime case, there will be a new one this Wednesday.